you. Okay. So I'm hosting these. Like, why am I hosting these? Because it's really confusing when you type in become a project manager on Google and there's like a million and one results. And some of them are conflicting. And then it's like, oh, well, there's training for this, there's training for this. Where do I get training? Who's better? There's just so many questions that goes through one's mind when we're trying to figure that out. And then there's, I really wish I could talk to someone and find out, like, is this the right career path for me as well? So typically, when people are coming to us and asking us about project management, they're one, already in a project management style position, or two, it sounds interesting and they're really thinking about making a career switch. So it's normally one of those two. You might fall somewhere in between, but it's normally one of those two. So if you're open to being in the chat, like let me know. Is this something you're already in the field and you want the certification and you're trying to figure out how to do that? Or are you looking for a career change? Awesome. So office manager, worked in HR, marketing, fantastic. So um, I love project management. And I tell you that because I have an MBA. And when I was doing my MBA, we had a course on project management. And I left that course and I left the program going, I still don't fully understand what project management is. I didn't understand that it was a career path in itself. And I wish someone would have told me that because I would have dove right into it. I was very fortunate that becoming a business consultant and doing change management and learning and development, I was exposed to project management within the field. And I was instantly in love. So I want to share that with you all. There are a lot of different disciplines within project management, but I will tell you what we're talking about today with the PMP and the CAPM. That is really the best place to start. And I say that saying I've done a lot of research um, while working for APB, but also on my own when I was trying to figure that out before I started with APB. All right. So we're going to cover project management career, benefits of certification. Big question that I would get a lot is what's the difference between the CAPM and the PMP? And what are those requirements for each? And then our contact information, which you should have gotten an email from me, so you can always reach out and contact me as well. All right. So project management is growing. And the reason it's growing is because businesses are seeing the benefit of having someone that is trained in the project management discipline. So there's this term, project management, which says, yeah, I manage projects. And then there's the actual discipline of being a project manager. Now, what we see a lot in companies is you might get the project management title or a program manager or something like that. And you think you know what you're doing, but you're like always searching for materials that you can utilize to support how to make the project more successful. PMI, which I'll go into a little bit more, is the Project Management Institute. Their PMP and CAPM are certifications that are internationally recognized, and they have the core disciplines. If all these project managers come together and they put together this book called the PMBOK. And the PMBOK is these rules, guidelines, let me say rules very lightly, these best practices for making a project more successful. Because when a business goes in and they're like, we're going to invest in all these people and we're going to invest in this project, and then it fails, there's a lot of money that's lost. So they don't want to lose that money. They want to use the processes that ensure the best results. So the role of project manager and a certified project manager, that need for that is growing. Why? Because so many businesses are now, and what I see in my own experiences, they're implementing IT. They're implementing new automation systems. They're implementing new processes. And when you implement this new process, it is a project. It's a start and finish. We're going to implement it, and this is what done looked like. And a lot of times we get that confused with I'm managing projects. So it's just project after project after project. But a project is a start and end date. So as you can see on the screen, there is a need for this, right? There are expected, projected that we need nearly 88 million project managers. So if you get your certification and you go apply for a project management position and you have that PMP, or specifically the PMP, you're going to be recognized. And I'm going to go into careers in just a minute as well. Sometimes I get ahead of myself because I get so excited. So, salary wise, right? This is what we really want to know. Am I going to earn more money? Is it going to be worth it? Short answer, yes. I have seen this firsthand. Uh, this is what research studies show. However, I encourage you to go onto LinkedIn Jobs and look for project managers positions, because some of the ones I've been looking at recently are around 140. And of course, that's going to vary based on your experience. But if you've got about 5 years of experience on it, which you should to get your PMP anyways, so I'll go into that more, you could be applying for that position that's 140. I will say on average, unless you're getting an associate or an assistant project manager, normally you're going to be making around that 100 range. So it's a pretty good salary. Now, I am not going to lie. It is a high responsibility job. So that first couple years can be a little stressful because you are managing the project. You are not doing all the work though. You are in contact with all the people that are doing the work and you're managing them. So you are a manager. Most of what you're going to be learning in project management, half of it is going to be the actual like processes. The other half is management, team management, how to put together and manage a high functioning team. So if you like that and you feel like you're already good at leadership, then you're going to love this. It's a great position to be in. I love people. You couldn't tell. I like to talk. So there's the PMP and the CAPM, and research has shown that you have about a 25% salary increase. That's a high return on investment. It's probably one of the highest returns on investments of certifications that you can get. The exam for the PMP is pretty hard. I'm not going to lie about that either. CAPM, it's easier. But if you've been in it, if you're studying it, if you're doing the work, it will be easier. But you've got to study for the test. And then you also have to study just to know. So that's why we're going to show you here. Like, we do a 35-hour training, which is required for the PMP anyways. And I'm going to go into that. All right. So about us, who are we? I told you a little bit about myself. But APB is a minority veteran-owned business, which is really fun because in the project management world, being a minority, whether it's or Black owned, being a woman in project management as well. So these things are really important to be in those communities. We highly recommend that because you will get the support that you need. So Andre is our owner. I've got a picture of him at the end. Hanu is one of our teachers, and then Renee is one of our other instructors. She has a PhD in business. Hanu works in Silicon Valley. Like Andre owns 3 businesses. They are very, very brilliant people. And you will get their support, you will get their wisdom, and you can also connect with them and use them as a resource. That's one of the beautiful things of doing a live training class, because when you're in that class with them, you get to network not only with our instructors and our owner, but you also get to network with all the other people that are in the class and learn from each other and make those contacts. Because that's huge, right? It's one of those, it's not just what you know, it's also who you know. So Andre is really good about making sure he connects people that need connections. So that's also just a little benefit. So all the industries of project management, I really don't think there's an industry that project management doesn't touch. But I listed the core, the top ones that it's really prominent in: construction and engineering. So APB, one of the things that we're doing is in Cleveland, we are assisting with the renovation of the Guardians baseball stadium. a ballpark. It's what we're told to call it. So that's one of our very large projects. We also have government projects. So Renee, that's only one of our instructors, she actually works with the Navy in building the Navy ships. Pretty cool. Education, we're definitely seeing this and we're seeing more need for this, especially when all the schools went virtual for that short bit. Like we really needed some project management there. And then when we make those big changes, healthcare administration, huge sector, information, so IT, small businesses. This is one of the things I have my own business on the side and I do project management there and change management. So you can also work for yourself and do side projects, such as private consulting within corporations, advertising, marketing, and definitely finance. So who's in anybody in any of those? Right? I think I covered just about everything. So it is definitely in all of those. So these are some of the big ones that we really see. And the PMP is non-industry, it's agnostic. So whatever you learn within project management, you're going to be able to apply it in every industry. Now, within each industry, there are kind of the politics that happen there and kind of these little best practices of its own. But it's really great if you get bored doing one thing only. It's a really great career path where you can kind of bounce around if you want to. And you can travel. I've had friends that have traveled too. So with this, again, we're just saying it's a high return on investment. So again, MBA is probably one of the higher returns on investment for degrees. You don't have to have a master's degree to get your project management certification. You can be making master degree level income with a project management certification. So I will tell you, like I did 13-month MBA. It's like buckle up. That was really hard. So in the PMI Institutes, I told you I'd tell you about this. So it's internationally recognized, which means, as I said, you could travel. It's anywhere. Literally, if you wanted to do a project, let's say there's one in Germany or Norway, or maybe there's one somewhere else in Europe, and you wanted to work on that, you could. We have a lot of people from India who work virtually and help us on IT projects. So you can work remote, just fantastic. I do. And then you can work international. So I have clients from all over the world. It's kind of cool. So CAPM versus PMP. All right, let's dive into this. So CAPM is a certified associate in project management, and the CAPM actually just recently changed. So the new exams come out next month. Yeah, next month, July. I remind myself what month it is. So it's now going to have a large portion of business analysis added onto the CAPM, which is really important. So if you ever want to do business development, we know there's a lot of jobs out there for business analysis. So that'll facilitate jobs in that market as well. And then the PMP, there's various different industries that you can use that. Let's go over the CAPM. So the requirements for the CAPM, you can have high school diploma and 23 hours of formal education, or you can have a high school diploma and 1,500 hours of experience. So you technically don't have to have formal education on project management to take the CAPM. You could get the books and just read them and study on your own and do that. However, I will tell you to prepare for the exam, it's much better just do the 23 hours because most people study still after that. Now, the PMP, this is where it's a little bit different. So you can have one of these. So you can have a high school degree or a 4-year degree. If you have a master's, it doesn't give you any extra benefits. Sorry. I get that question a lot. I wish. And then you have to have so much experience. So I've got those hours listed there. Regardless, you still have to have a certificate from a project management institute, so an ACP accredited project management to facilitate those 35 hours. So you'll get a certificate from us when you do our program, for example, that says you did that. Once you get that certificate, then you are going to put in an application with your experience and that certification to apply to take the exam. So this is no joke. When I was going to say it's a little challenging, but we walk you through that. So you apply for the exam, you get approved within a day or two. And after that day or two, you have a year to take your PMP exam. So within that year, we normally tell you you're probably going to need about a good solid 3 months to really prepare for that exam. In our program, what we charge, and this is most programs, the exam fee is separate from the training. So most people are going to want to sign up for your Project Management Institute membership. It's like less than $200. When you sign up to take the exam, you're going to get that money back on a discount. It'll allow you to join your chapter for like an extra $30 or so. You'll get to know the people in your area. Great networking, especially if you're trying to switch careers. Okay, it's extra little side tips. All right. So the big things that you're learning within exam prep is the processes and practices. The huge one are the industry terms. It is like learning a whole nother language. Some of it will be common sense, which, I think most of us joke common sense is as common nowadays, but I'm sure you all have it because you're here. And then you'll be learning about agile and team management. So who's heard about agile? You've all heard about agile and Scrum and stuff like that. That is now all included in the PMP exam prep. So there are other things that you can do. So people that got their PMP a long time ago, they have the ACP. So it's just the agile practitioner. That's who those are for. You all, if you're taking the PMP now, you don't need that extra certification. You can, won't hurt, but it will be included. You'll learn a little bit about Scrum, but it's not as in-depth as getting a Scrum Master certification. But a Scrum Master certification is similar, and we do those as well. So Scrum Master certification, that salary is around 60 to 80 a year. So you get a little bit more of a bump with a PMP. All right. So this is Andre. I told you I had a picture of him. So he has a ton of certifications. One of the smartest people I know. Like he doesn't sleep. He just studies and works all the time. And then again, I told you about our other instructors too. I'm Izzy. I'm there. I am your person to contact. Anything you need, any questions that you have, if you need to jump on a phone call, I'm that person. Okay. All right. So normally we have most of our upcoming classes are listed on our website. My phone number is at the bottom of the emails if you email me. So that's there. If you can't get a hold of me, there's info at APB and Associates. So the next thing you're probably wondering, like, okay, when's these next classes? How much do they cost? Right? That's normally the next question. So we supply classes with colleges and universities. So we have a couple partners that we partner with. Now, one of the reasons that we do that is because the colleges and universities have workforce development scholarships. Great benefit. So if you are, like, say in the DC area, we have Howard and we have Prince George University. They have workforce scholarships that you can access, and you can get your certification exam prep for next to nothing or completely covered. So that's where you can check in with me. We can see. We also have where you can purchase it solo. You can do payment options, or we can give you a discount if you want to like do 2 certifications or something like that. All right. Question time. Anybody got questions? You can type in the chat. You can say them out loud. Either way is fine. Lean. Yeah. So we also teach lean. We do that. One of the colleges, we do a lot of like problem statements. with UCA. So in California, that's one of our main places that we do quite a bit there. We also have a supply chain company. So as I mentioned, Andre owns companies. So one is a supply chain company. We teach supply chain. And then we have APB, and then we have VN Services, which is construction project management specifically. So I would recommend, if you want to go down that path, I tell people get your PMP first, then do lean. So Six Sigma stuff. Because that's more operations style, which if you're in the project management world, you'll start getting a lot of experience. And when you do your lean certification, you have to have projects that you're working on in order to get the certification. So that's why I say do project management first, because then you'll be on the projects. You'll have these projects that you can be working on to get your lean certification. Guys, I did that record time. I did it in 20 minutes. We got lots of time to chat if you want to chat. Okay. But if you don't have any questions, then we're good for today. And I do have these once a month. So definitely you can sign up the same way you signed up before, that same link. And you can sign up for the next one if you're like, you have another question, or maybe you just need to refresh what we talked about. That's also possible too. And then, as I mentioned, you can always email me. I'll put my email in the chat. Yes, question. How much does the whole process cost? Okay. So you do not have to have a PMI membership to submit the application. So putting in your application is free. But again, you have to have that 35 hours in order to submit the application. The price of the exam prep training varies. So whether you do it with us or with someone else, it varies greatly. Ours is around 2000. And that's where I said, workforce scholarships are definitely a great thing to take advantage of if possible. Um, if not, again, return on investment, you will get that back. You will get that back in your first year of work. So it is not something to take lightly. If you do the exam prep, we want to make sure that you're going to take the exam afterwards. We find when that price is higher, it's a little bit more incentive. All right. Is it possible to work and study at the same time? Yes, definitely. So most of these classes are in the evening. So we start at 6 or 6:30, depending on which class you're in. It's like Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. So you'll have those nights. What I always recommend people to do is to, let's say Wednesday or Monday, Wednesday, for example, you're going to have 12 sessions for the PMP exam prep. After that 12 sessions are over, so 6 weeks, take another 6 weeks, block that same time out on your schedule, and use that time to study and prep. The biggest thing that we see is people that they get scared and they don't schedule the exam and take it. I recommend, like, if you need 3 months, if you need six, I wouldn't do less than 3 months. 6 months, schedule it out for 6 months and then put pressure on yourself. So when you schedule that exam, it's about 400 for the exam itself. So study for it. Don't have to keep repeating that. Um, but I will say we have not had anyone fail the exam. The only thing that we have is people that they get scared and they just don't take it. But I mean, I've had numerous emails this past month. One day, like 3 different emails came through saying, I just passed my exam. So we haven't had anyone that has told us that they have not passed it and that they need more help. But if you are anxious, I will say Hanu is really great. Like he will totally take an hour and like schedule a study session and make sure that you're confident. So that's the benefit of having this like small business vibe and not just big corporation that's all they do and they just want to keep people rolling through their exam program. All right, any more questions? I recommend check out our website, APB Associates. I'm pretty proud. We just redid the website, which I managed. I think it looks pretty. It's got some style. All right. Do you have to be a current student to take advantage of those scholarships? No. So if you register, what we recommend is let me know what area you're in. I can see if we have a college in that area, and I will put you in contact with the person. So there's normally a little workaround. So if I have you register with the main admissions person, they will get everything entered in to make sure that you get that scholarship. And if they're like, we don't have any more available, they'll let you know. So they're really good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to see your old faces and be able to share this information with you. Like, I don't know if you can hear my baby in the background. So, um, thank you all. And again, send me an email if you have any questions. I hope to see you all in a class. I pop into our classes and try to meet everyone that's in there. So hope to see you all there. All right.